All right, and welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Tuesday, June 21st, 2022. If you like the content, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts and analysis. By the way, took another winner today on Carvana, CVNA, 22.3% gainer on this one. Oversold stock, over 50% of the float was short into a double bottom here. Had to take a stab at this one here. So a nice gain for the members here, adding to an already awesome year, up 10%. Year to date, with the market down, basically 20%. So nice gains here. And then for the markets today, a nice little gap and go. It really kind of didn't last though. So we kind of just consolidated here. We had kind of a little wedge building. You can see there intraday. Tried to break out of that in the afternoon. And then we rolled over. There was a lot of calls expiring at 376 and 375 for the Tuesday OPEX strike on the SPY. It looks like they got burned out there in the last 10 minutes or so, really the last hour. Spiders are basically flattish to negative here in the after hours. But finished up 2.5%. Q's up 2.33. Big winner on the day was Tesla here. Gave back some of the gains here, but was up about 11-12% at one point. Still up 9% on the day. Losers on the day here, laggards, Meta. So I think they were being sued for something to do with giving away medical data or collecting medical data from some people. I'm not really sure the details, but sold off on that. Also, Twitter approved Elon Musk's buyout unanimously. So not sure if that helped pushing Meta lower a little bit. May have something to do with it. Also, Netflix is a bit of a loser today, down almost 3% there. Again, not really participating in the rally, but overall a decent move here. The red flags, though, I'm going to say here immediately. So the Russell 2000 had a nice surge here in the morning. I like to see that, and we see in the intraday the triple Qs were outperforming in the morning as well. So I see the Russell and the Qs outperforming. I like to see that. I like to see Tesla outperforming. It's generally going to be a good risk-on indicator when you see those three things leading the market. Semis had a nice pop in the morning. Apple as well here, beautiful surge there. I finished at the highs of the day essentially. But the problem I have is look at the UVXY here into the close. I mean, you really held the low of the day from the first candle. And you had a nice surge in the afternoon. If we look at the VIX, the actual VIX, we reclaimed that 30 handle on a closing basis. So we gapped down, kind of went sideways here, bear flagged for a few hours, and then we dipped down, broke through the low of the day, and that gave the market a little bit of a lift. And then, it reclaimed that 30 handle, and it's like the VIX just does not want to go away right now. And I would have felt better. You guys know I was talking about, I was saying this week we probably have a good shot of putting in some type of a low in the market. Not a permanent low, but a good tradable low. And it still may be the case, but I don't like this gap up. I would have preferred if we had a little bit more downside first. If we retested the lows here, this tail candle, or if we had gone down and tested 360, that would have really made me feel a lot better. Markets typically don't bottom on actually they don't bottom on a gap up. They bottom on gap down. And that's how you get those last, traders to get flushed out, and that's where you get the bottom from. Usually they don't bottom on a gap. Now you can have a short-term bottom on a gap up. It's it's not out of the question, but I really don't like this even as a short-term. I don't think this is going to be the precursor to the summer rally, to be completely honest. I think we need, if anything, we need to probably make another low this week. I just don't like this close. I don't like what the VIX did. I don't like the gap up. I don't like you finished off the highs. I don't like, look at that candle on the triple Qs. That's not very inspiring. I mean, we filled the gap, a decent move there, but it didn't finish at the highs, no follow through. And it's just like this same story over and over again. Like vol bidders are just relentless, and they're just bidding up vol and on any sort of weakness. And that's kind of the red flag here. But I mean, we came off the lows. So we'll see what we get tomorrow. Look at the Russell here again. Kind of a doji close. Doesn't even look like we got above last week's gap high. So 168.42. Yeah, so we didn't even close above this red bar high. You know, we got above it, we didn't close above it. So, and we didn't even fill this gap either. So maybe we go up there and do that, but not a very inspiring close, I have to say. Was hoping for some type of a gamma squeeze if we pushed through 376 on the spiders. We had a good chance to gamma squeeze up to 380 today. That didn't happen. The bears defended it. So I'm really kind of neutral right now. I think if we gap up tomorrow and we get up into this gap, that's probably a good shorting opportunity, at least on maybe a day trading level at the very least. I just don't like I just don't like the price action, just to be honest. It just does not look very inspiring here. I would have much preferred more downside first. But again, you know, there's nothing to say we can't have a short-term low with the gap up. So we'll see what we get tomorrow. It's a shortened week. The one thing I will say, the volume was light today. So when you have light volume, you know, you never want to short a dull market. So there's that holiday volume, kind of a holiday hangover volume could be in effect really all week. So if we get, you know, if we start to get the summer doldrums type volume, that could be, you know, positive for the bulls. But I just don't see any sort of conviction here overall. So again, we'll see what we get tomorrow. Anyways, semiconductors here up 2.83%. So that did close above the high here from last week on Thursday. So a decent move. We kind of reclaimed this yellow trend line. A little bit better shape here. IGV, cloud software, was a little bit better of a performer today. Then a lot of things. We filled this gap, closed back above this white trend line. And, you know, it's hanging in there. So, again, you know, nothing terrible, but I would have preferred to see the spiders do a lot more. I think Meta dragged it down a lot. So, to be fair, Meta did kind of participate in that. Dow Transports, again, nice little pop here. Kind of consolidated all day long, really, after the first initial pop. And still well below that red bar. So, transports are in kind of a weaker technical position. But they do have, if this does flush lower, I do like this at this 50% fib. So, 12,385, 12,4, somewhere in that area. Then you have that 200-week moving average just below. So not a terrible area there if we were to test those lower prices. Yields here, got a little bit of a pop here, up 2%. Again, hard to make much out of it. There's not really a pattern right now. We got up to that 3-4 area, and I showed you guys over the weekend. Oh, we got to go on the monthly here. By the way, that's a nice weekly topping tail potentially on yields, so people will be watching that. But you have this kind of broadening pattern. We got up into that, pulled back off it. We'll see if we get more. Actually, now that I look at it again, that's a nice little topping candle there potentially on yield. So we'll watch that. And then obviously the 30-year. We've been talking about that one as well. Into this double top and 200-month moving average. So I expect that to pull back. So we'll see what we get. HYG basically flat, so high yield that kind of flattish here. Again, you want to see more of a surge here. If HYG was up, you know, up big and we got back above 75 today, I would feel a lot better about this rally. But again, the way the VIX behaved and the fact HYG didn't really participate is a little bit more of a red flag there. Home builders here, so XHB. We can get it to pull up. There we go. So got a pop just like everything else. Up 70 basis points, but again, still well inside this red bar. Not really the greatest action. ITB, same thing. VNQ here, same thing. Finished off the highs. You know, I said we probably would have some type of bottom this week, but it may be that we need to roll over and maybe we bottom next week. You know, I've been talking to you guys over the weekend about these levels here on the SPY, on the triple Qs, and just what I'm seeing here, it just doesn't look like it's ready to bottom, honestly. But I would prefer us if we got down into this zone first. Again, I just can't get over how that gap up today looked. I mean, it would have been one thing if we finished strong at the highs and the VIX got slaughtered, but that wasn't the case. VIX was only down like 3%, 4%, as the SPY was up 2.5%. That's really, just such a red flag. Anyway, moving on here, XLF, you know, same thing, up 2%. Basically filled that gap, had a decent close. So Fins actually had a decent day. That's a good sign. XBD, broker dealers, had a nice surge, you know, finished just off the highs, but not nearly off the highs as a lot of other things. So that's a little bit of an encouragement there, seeing Fins outperform a little bit. So again, we'll see what we get tomorrow, but financials holding up okay. Crude, kind of a quiet day, so pausing at that 50 MA. We'll see if it puts in pattern. If it starts going sideways, it could be bear flagging to set up for a move lower, but too early to tell right now. It's kind of just hanging in there at the moment. XLE getting a nice bounce. So it looked like we covered that Chevron short last week on Friday. That was a good decision. We got a nice bounce here today. I think this has upside maybe to that gap window, 100 moving average. I don't know if we can get through that. I think this gap fill would be a good area for a possible short setup if you're a nimble trader. But we'll see what we get out here. But energy getting a nice little bid. XOP coming off the lows up 4%, was oversold, reclaimed that 100 moving average, and OIH making new lows here on Friday, then bouncing off that 200 moving average, so getting a little bit of a bid here, but OIH definitely on the weaker side. Nat gas got close to that 650 area that I've been talking about, got a little bit of a bounce. I don't know if I really like this level at this point. We'll have to see what it does tomorrow. I'd prefer it go a little bit lower, but we'll see what kind of setup we get. Overall, nat gas finishing just a little bit lower here and off the lows on the day. Dollar index, not a whole lot going on. Dipped a little bit, then kind of caught a bid here in the afternoon and finished basically flattish, so nothing really to say there. And gold really just doing the opposite. Really just kind of been stuck in this range. No real clear pattern. I will say, though, that the weekly, I don't like this inside bar here. So you do have an inside bar pattern on the weekly starting to form. I don't like that reversal we got last week. So again, we'll see what we get out here. But if we close above that red bar high, then all bets are off and gold can move higher. So again, we'll see what the charts tell us a little bit more. Silver, same thing. We did put in that higher low, but again, a reversal. And then if we look at the weekly, again, an inside bar there, and you're consolidating. So consolidating above that 200. So it's building an army to push through support. So be aware of that. Platinum, kind of a non-event day here. Same thing with palladium, also an inside bar there on the daily. And then copper, lastly, close to that 390 area. I still got good support at about 385. A little bit of a pause. It's oversold. We'll see if we can get a bounce here. But I think it wants to go down and test that 385, 387 level. So again, we'll see what we get tomorrow with that. And then Bitcoin, I really liked this over the weekend. I told you guys yesterday, I was like, this actually looks attractive here. I was hoping it would open below 21,000. We opened above 21,000 this morning. I said, you know what, I don't really want to chase it up here. And now look, it's already off the highs. So that's, you know, lesson why you don't chase here. But I would have loved to have gotten it sub 20, because I know a lot of people got stopped out here. I mean, it's just, there's no way they didn't. A lot of people got stopped out. And a lot of the times when that happens, that usually marks a short-term low. So again, that's also a positive. If Bitcoin can hold up here and get some type of a follow-through off the lows, that could be good, you know, a good leading indicator here for the equity markets, as it is pretty much a risk-on asset across the board here at the moment. But again, Bitcoin kind of looking like a lot of other things here, having a pop early and then finishing, you know, and fading off the highs by 4 p.m. Anyways, here, let's flip back over. Let's look at the spiders. So basically just hanging around that 375 area after hours. Again, not too inspiring here. I like the gap up. I like that we held most of the gains, but I don't like that fade into the close. I know a lot of it had to do with burning out some of those weekly calls. I get that. But the VIX, that bid there, just really, I really just don't like that, honestly. So we'll have to see more tomorrow. If we get follow through, we get follow through and we get a nice surge, then, you know, again, all bets are off and maybe we can go fill this gap. But again, I would have preferred to see a little bit more downside Tuesday, Wednesday, and then a reversal Thursday, Friday, and then a follow through into next week. That was kind of the roadmap the ideal roadmap that I had planned out for the week. But, you know, again, it doesn't always work the way that you plan it out, and I'm sure everybody's aware of that. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up here. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.